Suzanne, what is the nicest thing a non-family member has ever done for you?
Well, Phil, I have to say that I actually have two stories, and they're tied together because in both cases I was taught how something really incredibly wonderful could arrive that I couldn't ever really repay or that I couldn't have imagined would have happened to me. But they're very related in that way. The first story happened when my children were little. They're now 26 and 31. So they were probably maybe 7 and 12, something like that. And it was an incredibly deluge of a day, raining, cats and dogs. I'm driving my van with both kids. We get to their gym warehouse where they took gymnastics, and they pile out the door, and I'm fast behind them because the little one was not that old yet. And in the meantime, my deposit, because I'm an entrepreneur, my deposit for that week, which included cash, was clipped together, sitting on the dashboard of my car, fell out onto the ground in the rain. And I didn't even see it. I just went rushing into the gym. I came back out and got in the car, and I'm looking around for my deposit, and I'm thinking, oh, there is no way that this deposit is actually going to show up again. And it had hundreds of dollars of cash in it. I had, 20 checks, the deposit slip. And I just couldn't figure out. I knew I had locked the car. It didn't make any sense to me that it was gone. And then a woman comes running out of the gym, waving my deposit slip. And I said to her, what happened? She goes, Mrs. Scurlock, your deposit slip, a man just brought it in to me. He said that he found it on the ground and he knew you must be absolutely desperate for it. And I was blown away. Number one, every single bit of the cash was still there. It was only slightly damp because he must have come right behind me as I raced in to the gym with the kids. And he returned it all. I asked her what his name was. And she said, well, he didn't really want me to tell you. I said, please, please, please. I need to thank him in some way. And so she did get his name. And I actually contacted him and thanked him profusely for it. And I also then wrote an article for the local paper in their editorial session. And I said to them, I just want anyone who is still wondering about whether good people and honest people still exist in the world today, just want to make the point that they do. And then I wrote the story about the kindness and the honesty of this man, whose name I've now long forgotten. But it really returned for me a sense of, yes, there are people for whom helping other people is a normal way of life. Now, I'm one of those people. I mean, if you were to take me and drop somebody's deposit slip in front of me, of course I would return it to them, and we would all hope that that would occur. And yet in reality, it often doesn't. So people are desperate or for whatever reasons. So that was really a wonderful, incredibly nice thing to have happen. And then just recently, with the COVID-19 crisis, I have been working to take all of my courses that I teach, all of the things that I do online, so that as people are quarantined and sheltered in place in their homes, that they could still have access to the skills that I teach in terms of calming and steadying and clarity of thought and all of that. And so I contacted a friend of mine and I basically said, we want to run a class that got canceled. We want to run it online. Now, there's no money in this class because nobody's paying for it, but we want the information to get out to people because it's really important information. Would you do it for us? And what would you charge if you were going to do it? And he got right back to me and he said, no, I'll do that for you. And I'm not going to charge you at all, which I was blown away by that, because he's really an incredible guy and he really knows his stuff. And he went through and filmed every single bit of it and he did it really exquisitely. And wouldn't take any money for it, and the information got out there. I guess in his mind, he was thinking, the conferences that I usually film aren't happening right now. So let me put my efforts towards something that will make a difference in the world. And it has. It has really made a huge difference in my life. And thank you, Carol.